You know, 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. Oh, excuse me. But like I said, 2 hours 45 minutes ago, I did a live stream where I talked about numerous WWE topics. One of the first things I talked about was the whole Roman Reigns problem that WWE has. And I pointed out that right now it seems WWE is focused, WWE, and if not mostly Vince McMahon, is focused more on quantity instead of quality. I know that's a strange kind of comparison or strange way of putting it, but think about it. If they truly cared about quality, they would look at the fact that the quality and value that Roman's character has right now, with all due respect, is not up to snuff. It's not. It's not up to snuff to what they want. You know, it's not up to snuff to be what they want as far as a character is concerned. What it is primarily is barely what they want. But yet, you have Vince McMahon constantly, and maybe Kevin Dunn and whoever else, constantly wanting to shove Roman down people's throats. Which is why, as strange as it may sound, in a comparison way, shows that they value quantity over quality. I mean, sorry. I mean, take a look at this. Take a look at what I'm talking about. They put Roman Reigns. I mean, here's the thing. Yes, he had a match with Samoa Joe. And much to the chagrin of a lot of people, he beat Samoa Joe. Despite the fact that, as I saw and everybody else saw, he was getting clearly dominated. Samoa Joe, even when Roman would have offense, would try to get offense in, Samoa Joe at most times, or sometimes, would have an answer. Like when Roman tried to do a drive-by, a second drive-by kick, what did Samoa Joe do? He counted it into the Coquina Clutch. And despite the fact that Samoa Joe clearly had the momentum going into this match and clearly should have gone over, and I do agree with that, because if you want to give sympathy to Roman, hey, this is another step in trying to do that. But point is, but the point is, when, but the point is, what I'm getting at is when WWE shows that they value quantity over quality, they, instead of taking a match, like I was trying to say earlier, a match of Roman Reigns Samoa Joe, which on the Raw side of things, could be the main event of a Raw house show if you wanted to go that route. And maybe the main event of a Monday Night Raw if you didn't want to have the IC title defended, or a tag team title, or women's title defended. Then yeah, you could get away with Joe and Reigns main eventing there. Heck, you could even get a, and I know some people may not like hearing this, but you can even get away with Joe and Reigns main eventing a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. I will say that. But when you're going back to something like dual branded, and now you're doing dual branded pay-per-views that usually would be exclusive to your big four or your big five, if you want to count Money in the Bank. And now all of a sudden, every pay-per-view, including the B-level in your house pay-per-views, are dual branded. Then this is an opportunity to kind of rebuild the deck, kind of repair that broken Roman Empire that Vince McMahon and people within his inner circle are so infatuated with. This is an opportunity to do that, because if you're going to have a WWE Championship match on the same show, oh, as at the same time you have a Roman Reigns match, it makes more sense to main event your WWE Championship over Roman Reigns. Because here's the thing, if you choose to main event Roman Reigns over your most prestigious championship, the very same championship that, despite all the changes it's gone through, has been the focal point of your company for over 50 years. Over 50 years, almost over half a century. Then it shows you that you don't have your priorities straight, and that you value quantity over quality. And again, as strange as that may sound as a comparison, it's a fact. Because they'd rather shove Roman Reigns down your throat with main event, with closing main event, with him closing every show with main event after main event after main event, whether or not it's for a championship, whether or not it's for the Intercontinental, Universal, or Tag Team Championships. They'd rather have him close out the show instead of do what's right and have the most prestigious championship, the focal point of their company, the centerpiece, the crown jewel of their company, main eventing. Because they are so determined, this being Vince McMahon himself, they are so determined to get Roman over with the crowd, to get the crowd to cheer Roman, that they'd rather devalue their very championship right now is on the shoulder, on the waist of one of the best, if not the best, pure pro wrestler, sports entertainer, athlete in the phenomenal AJ Styles. And I'll tell you this, they're having Money in the Bank in Chicago. If they main event Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal, if that match closes out Money in the Bank, Lord help us all. Because that right there would show you that they are so desperate, and they value the quantity of putting Roman Reigns in all these closing main event matches, that they'd rather sacrifice the quality of their other athletes, of the other men and women that are going to go out there in 2, maybe 3 separate ladder matches, bust their butts, probably suffer minor, if not major injuries, just to get an opportunity, succeed or failure, at the WWE Universal, Raw SmackDown Women's, and Raw SmackDown Tag Team titles, all because they are so determined to get Roman over with the crowd. I mean, they've gone to a point now where they want to feud him with Jinder Mahal, hoping that Jinder Mahal, being such a heat-seeking missile for hatred and disdain by the crowd, that's going to get the crowd to cheer Roman. And you know what? That might happen. That might happen, but you know what? Don't be surprised if their match in Chicago, if it does close out the show, don't be surprised if their match in Chicago, that during the introductions, that freaking Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja, get freaking cheered over Roman Reigns. Don't be surprised by that, because if you couldn't get a not so smart hardcore crowd in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia to cheer for him, you definitely damn as sure as heck couldn't get Backlash to cheer for him, especially putting him in a match with a crowd favorite like Samoa Joe. I worry about what's going to progress on June 17th. I'm worried that we're going to enter Bizarro world with that match. And I know Deluxe Man, Alex, if you're watching, hopefully you could see that happening yourself. You could see that happening yourself because that would show you that people would rather cheer one of the more disdained personalities in wrestling right now, in Jinder Mahal, over freaking Roman Reigns, because they don't like the fact that WWE just is WWE and mostly Vince McMahon ain't getting it through the skull that enough's enough. You know, it's like, okay, Vince, we get it. Roman's your boy. Roman's the successor to the throne, currently sat down on by John Cena and Triple H and a few others. We get it. He's the successor. He's the big dog. We get it. But that doesn't mean you have to keep shoving him down our throats. We get it. We understand it. I mean, why do you think fans are cheering John Cena more often now? It's not because he's gone part-time, but when he does come back and competes on a semi-full time schedule when he gets an opportunity, guess what? They cheer him because he's not being shoved down their throats anymore. They're respecting the fact that, hey, he's putting over a younger talent now. He's making up for past mistakes. Hey, so he should have put over talent that was up and coming instead of putting himself over. Oh, he's not in the championship picture anymore. The point is, the point is, John Cena is getting more beloved right now. Maybe not as much, but still getting more beloved and respected because of the fact that he sees the bigger picture now and he's stepping away. He's not letting Vince McMahon, and maybe he's got power to say this to Vince himself. He's not letting Vince basically say, John, we need you every night, and we need you to main event every pay-per-view, even if it's not for a championship, because we need you as the face of the company. Yeah. He's not letting him do that. He's more along lines looking at Vince and going like, Vince, he's more along lines going, looking at Vince and going like, Vince, I've had my time. I've had my opportunities. I've had my runs with the championship. It's time for me to step back and let the younger generation take over. And that's brilliant on John's part. That is brilliant. But with Roman, Vince doesn't see that. I mean, Vince probably respects John's decision, but he also sees the fact that, oh, he's probably thinking, oh, I couldn't get John to stay, but you know what? There's Roman. I'll get Roman. Yeah, Roman's my guy. And here's the reason Roman's his guy. And it should have been very evident when Roman won the Royal Rumble several years ago. It's because he's The Rock's cousin. Same with Nia Jax. You know, everybody expected Nia to lose to Alexa. She didn't. Why? Because they're planning to put her in the ring against Ronda Rousey probably at SummerSlam. Why? Not because, hey, it's a fantasy dream matchup come to life. No. It's because she's The Rock's cousin. With all due respect, that's the reason. And with all due respect to Roman Reigns, as much as people may hate to say this, that's the same reason he keeps constantly getting pushed. He's The Rock's cousin. Vince sees the fact that Rock's off making all this money as a big major movie star. It's this big breakout movie megastar. It's probably one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood right now. And he's looking at that thinking, yeah, I could hitch onto Rock's wagon, and I know just how to do it. I'll push Roman constantly, put him in main events, even that will close out the show, even if it's not for a championship, and I'll make sure Nia keeps that championship until SummerSlam at least, because once the word gets out that, because maybe not many people know they're related to The Rock, that they are related to The Rock, people want to see them more. Yeah, that's a great, brilliant idea. That's how Vince looks at it. And Kevin Dunn, being Vince's right hand man, with all due respect, and Lord forgive me for doing this, is probably thinking, oh, Vinny, that is brilliant. Yes, people will want to see more Roman and Nia because they're related to The Rock. Oh, you are a genius. Lord, forgive me for doing that. But that's how Vince probably sees it. And that's why he's valuing the quantity of putting Roman in so many closing main events at all these pay-per-views, WrestleMania, Rumble, Backlash, Money in the Bank, whatever, because he's related to The Rock. I guarantee you that if Roman and Nia, again, with all due respect, were not related to The Rock, they would not have the freaking rockets strapped up their back and shoved up the you-know-whats and blasting them to the moon and beyond. They wouldn't have that happening to them if they weren't related to the freaking Rock. That's about it. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a true fact. That they wouldn't be in the damn positions they're in, wouldn't be shoved down our throats, mostly Roman, not Nia, but mostly Roman, wouldn't be shoved down our throats month after month, year after year, main event after main event, closing out shows, championships or not championships. That wouldn't be happening, and people wouldn't be bitching, complaining, and getting sick of it if Roman was not related to The Rock, because that's the only reason. And Vince looks at the success The Rock has become in Hollywood, thinks he can hitch his wagon to The Rock success by pushing his cousin straight to the damn moon. And you know what? Vince ain't gonna stop. He ain't gonna stop until one day we're at home watching on pay-per-view on the WWE network, and we're sitting in the crowd, maybe in Chicago at Money in the Bank, and we're chanting, "Let's go, Roman, 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 yay, Roman, 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 yay!" He's not gonna stop until he gets that. He's not gonna stop until it's an eye for an eye. It's like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's what it is with him. It's like, if we cheer for Roman and go, "Yay, Roman's the best! Roman's the greatest wrestler of all time! Whoopee!" He'll probably be like, "Yep, the fans finally gave in. They're cheering for Roman. It's a return of main event, AJ Styles and Nakamura at SummerSlam in a 60-minute Iron Man match, and we'll do it New Japan style. Yeah, because they gave me what I want, I'll give them what they want." And that's the truth. That is the damn truth. And that is the problem. And that is the Roman problem that they have. That is the Roman Reigns problem in a nutshell. And that is the truth about the Roman Reigns problem. It's the fact that the reason he's getting these opportunities is because of his relation to The Rock. And the reason Vince is going to keep doing it, and not stop. And the reason Vince won't stop doing it, or the only way Vince is going to stop doing it, is when we start chanting for Roman, cheering him through the roof, giving him the cheers and adulations Vince wants us to give him, so that in return, Vince will probably give us something in return. That's how he plays this game, with all due respect to Triple H. But that's how he plays this game. We scratch his back, he'll scratch ours. And that's a fact. That is a damn truthful fact. That you, me, OTR Central, Deluxe Man, Chase Oliver, Jeff Meacham, Aaron Rift, Bill Apter, Dave Meltzer, Kevin Castle, Brian Alvarez, Don Tony, all of them. Chase Oliver, anybody. Pro Wrestling Report, Damian Nelson, anybody. That is a true damn fact that you, all of them that I've mentioned, including myself, know is the truth. That is the truth behind the whole Roman Reigns problem. It's the fact that he's related to The Rock. It's the fact that Vince is valuing the quantity of pushing him to the moon in main event after main event after main event, instead of the quality that these other men and women put out. Instead of the quality and value that a championship that's been with his family's company for over half a century has. And Vince does not realize that people are sick of it. We get it. We get Roman Reigns is your guy. We get that Roman Reigns is your man. He's the face of your company now. He's your big dog. Enough! Enough, Vince. Here's what's gonna. Here's the thing. You know why I haven't watched Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for a while? Because of shit like that. I mean, I'd probably get a kick out of some of the other stuff. Hey, no problem. But when you constantly drive fans away, because you value the quantity of the Roman Reigns matches, main events that you could get time after time, championship or no championship, over the quality that those men and women put in that damn ring, over the value of a prestige championship that's been in your family for over half a century. It shows that one thing is true about your Roman Reigns problem. You're only doing it because he's related to The Rock and you want to hitch your bandwagon to The Rock's success. And second, because you are so freaking delusional, you still think it's the 1980s. WWE, Vince McMahon, on behalf of myself, OTR Essential, Deluxe Man, Chase Oliver, No DQ, Jeff Meacham, Bennett the Sage, Aaron Rift, British Fist, anybody, Chase Oliver, doesn't matter. On behalf of each and every one of us, we'll still continue to support WWE. We'll still continue to watch you. But enough's enough. Wake up and realize that when you have fans walking out during your main event featuring Roman Reigns, knowing what the outcome could probably be, and especially after that said outcome comes to pass, and they'll walk in as soon as that bell rings right out the freaking door, that should be a wake-up call, Vince. You either stop the rocket to Roman Reigns, cool it down, and value the quality of others that put their lives on the line for your product over the quantity of Roman Reigns main events, or as Deluxe Man and OTR Central and everybody else has said, and I'll say it now, you either stop the push, or we can turn Roman Reigns heel and get it over with. Have him embrace the hate. Because you know what I fear is going to happen? Like I said, and I'll say it right now again. I fear what's going to happen is the fans are going to cheer from the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, in Chicago, one of the hardcorest of hardcore towns of the IWC and beyond, over Roman Reigns, because that's how much they despise him. In WWE, if you main event and close that Money in the Bank with that match, it's on your heads. The only people you got left to blame is yourself. And that's all I'm going to say. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say in response. Deluxe Man, O2R Essential, Chase Oliver, Aaron Riff, Jeff Meacham. I welcome your response. Video response to what I've had to say here. Let me know what you guys think. Because I think the fact of the matter remains that I just let out a pipe bomb on the truth about WWE's Roman Reigns problem. And you know what? The truth sometimes hurts.